Hello, this is Paul Jones, and this is a special feature on a very special topic concerning backing up your data. In the home, most users will not back up their data. However, that is not advisable. Disasters will happen. Now, when we look at a business, we will realize that they do regular backups for all sizes of businesses. When dealing with a large business, a corporation that is working with a mini computer or a mainframe, backing up their data is an ongoing thing that is 24 hours a day. Also, with a small business, they will have a nightly practice of backing up their data on some kind of disk and having some kind of a program in place. If your data is important to you, it is good to back it up for the preparation of disaster. Take notice I use the word preparation of a disaster and not in case of a disaster or if a disaster should happen. A disaster will happen. There will be a time when electricity will go out, data is lost. There is times when hard disk will go bad. There's all kinds of reasons for disasters to take place. For example, your data becomes corrupt on the disk. You need a backup to restore it. If electricity goes out, it will also cause your data to be corrupt and it's got to be replaced. Also, the hard drive is no longer usable. There are times that you will run out of space on your drive, and to be able to save data will be very limited. Also, on another part is that the operating system becomes corrupt. Now, I have run into that on a couple of my computers, and also I'm getting phone calls of people that are experiencing this problem. And the only solution is that you eventually are going to have to reformat your drive. Reformatting the hard drive with some people is a regular event that I know people that will do that as a matter of maintenance to their drive to keep it fresh, and if there should be any kind of viruses or anything, it will be completely cleaned out. Another tip about this is that we are going to realize that we are going to look for different types of disk, what they use. Now, to begin with, there are two basic disks that are sold on the open market. They are called CD-ROM and DVD-ROM, and they are read-only disk. When you buy software in the store, they will be of this type. They are not able to be written to or anything. It is for the protection of these master disks. Now, CDs come in two popular formats. There is the CDR. It holds about 700 megabytes of data, and when this disk is full, is as far as it'll go. It'll read only one time. It will not replace any information, but when information is replaced on there, it might mark some of the previous versions to be no longer usable and replace it with the fresh data. Now, the next one is there's a CD-RW. Now, this will hold the same amount of information, but it will act as though it was very much like your hard disk. It will rewrite information to the drive. So this is a very good thing to remember when making a selection of the type of backups you want to make. Now also, it's very familiar to be working with DVDs. Now DVDs are pretty much the same way. If you get a DVD-ROM, you might get a movie or something on it. You might have even programs are being coming out on DVDs to be able to have a larger scope of holding data to install their programs. Take notice a DVD-R will hold about 3.7 gigabytes, and it will be usable until the disk is full. In other words, as you add data to it, it'll keep on filling up. After talking about the DVD-R, I really should have said DVD-R, but now we're going to talk about a DVD plus R. And this will hold about 4.7 gigabytes of data on it, and it is usable until the disk is full, just like as before. They are used to create a DVD-ROM, which is a disk that they are able to sell, and you're not able to alter it at all. So that is a unique difference. Next, we're going to talk about the DVD plus RW, which will hold the same amount of data as the DVD plus R. But the difference is that it will work very much like your hard drive again. Just like the DV or CD has an RW that'll rewrite data, this disk will also rewrite data and be able to reuse the disk just like your hard drive will. Now, starting with Windows Vista and into Windows 7, formatting your disk for the compatibility of its purpose becomes important. And for this, you need to realize what you're going to use your data for. Is it going to be used on a selection of different systems, different computers? Is it going to be used for backing up on many locations, or is it specific for the personal computer itself? In this same consideration, you need to realize, is your data going to be used on older computers? Will they have to be able to read the disk that you are making for backups? And if that is so, you're going to have to use the proper formatting. Now, along with it, you might want to realize that these computers are also with different formats. And to realize what they are, first we have a UDF 1.50, which will work with Windows 2000 and later. And it might not be able to be read on earlier versions of Windows, for example, Windows 98 or Windows 97. But also realize that this will not be able to be used on Apple computers. The compatibility with Apple computers came pretty much at the close of Windows 98 and getting into 2000. When formatting a disk, you might consider using a UDF 2.00, which works very nicely with Windows XP and later. Windows XP, having been around for a considerable long time, will cover a lot of computers and be very flexible. Finally, we get to the selection of UDF 2.50, which is very special for Windows Vista and Windows 7. It will not work on any other systems, and I predict that it will still be good for Windows 8 or any later versions that comes out later on. We have covered some very important information about formatting your disk and how it's going to be used for backup procedures. And as we do this, we will realize that Windows 7 is much more sensitive to this than in the past. It might be a little bit difficult to understand, but it needs to be realized. Well, this is the end of part 1. And I had to break it up into 2 parts because this has covered more time than what we're allowed. So be sure to go to part 2 and the actual procedure will be discussed.